Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I hope that you had a really wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas and holiday season in general. It was pretty busy for us, but we did get to have a lot of family time, which I really love. We spent some time down in Oregon with my husband's family and then got to spend time up here with my family as well. And yeah, I just decided to take a break from a lot of things. I didn't post on my blog, I didn't post here, I didn't hardly posted anything on Instagram or anything besides some stories and whatnot, but I'm happy to be back and filming. And today I just wanted to go over my 2025 garden goals. And last year I shared a lot, I shared all of I like to split my goals into categories, and last year I shared all of my goals. But this year I really wanted to focus on the garden because I do feel like that is the bulk of the content on this channel. And then after I share the goals, I'm going to take you outside and show you, just give you a short little tour of what the garden is looking like at the beginning of January 2025, and to elaborate maybe on a few of the projects that I want to take care of in the coming year. And I just want to bring you along with that. And also, in the past I've been uploading every Friday, but I think I'm the type of person that loves to sit down with a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning and watch YouTube, watch my favorite YouTubers. And so I'm going to be changing my upload from Friday mornings to Sunday mornings, and we'll see how that goes. I maybe move it some other time, but I think for the foreseeable it's going to be every Sunday. And then over on Learning to Bloom, you can expect a blog post every Wednesday and every Sunday. So yeah, that's what my posting schedule is going to be, and hopefully show up a little more on Instagram this year, a little more, video content and whatnot over there. But yeah, so let's jump in to my 2025 gardening goals. If you haven't already, hit pause and go grab a beverage for yourself. This is water. As you can hear, I have a little bit of a cold, so hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. So my first goal for the garden is to grow more pumpkin varieties and less squash. Last year was the first year in my garden that I've grown pumpkins, and I didn't get very many. I got 3 big pumpkins and a ton of small pumpkins, like the Jack B. Little pumpkins, and it brought me so much joy to look out the window and see them growing out there, and I just had so much fun with it. And now I want to try and grow my own jack-o'-lanterns to carve for next Halloween. And then also last year we just had an overabundance of zucchini, and unfortunately some of the produce went bad, and so I had to throw it away, which I hate doing, especially if I'm growing it out in my garden. And I couldn't give it away. I couldn't give it away enough. I made too much zucchini bread. I got sick of that really early. I did try canning. I made a zucchini relish, which is delicious, and it used up a big chunk of zucchini, but then I had a whole bunch more come out of the garden, and I just didn't have the time, or really didn't want to bother with canning more. And we got 10 cans of relish, which we'll probably be using well into this next summer. So I'm going to be growing less zucchini this year and more pumpkins, and hopefully get a bunch more new fun varieties. So stay tuned for that. And then along with new varieties, I am a cherry tomato lover, and we get so many because I basically grow more cherry tomato plants. As I love sun gold, sweet cherries, and I was growing this determinate variety called Golden Nugget, which is actually the tomatoes that come in earliest. But I had so many, and I love them. But my husband, he's more of a larger tomato. He likes to have slicers, or make you can make salsa with cherry tomatoes, but it's really easy with larger tomato varieties. And so this year I want to grow more large tomato varieties and less of the cherries. I definitely will still do sun gold and the sweet cherries, but I think the golden nuggets I'm going to put on pause for this year. After a while, I kind of got sick of those. They're delicious, but once the sun golds and the sweet cherries come in, that's the plants that I focus most on. But yeah, larger tomato varieties are definitely in our future, and hopefully they'll do well. And they'll have more space, because usually the larger tomatoes, I don't get as many because they're choked out by, or blocked or overshadowed by the cherry tomato varieties that I like to grow. My next goal for the garden is to build a compost bin and start composting. I've been saving kitchen scraps and then just taking them out to the beds and kind of processing through and chopping them up into small pieces, and then covering them with some leaves, or some compost that's already in the bed. So I mix it in. And that's working great for right now, but it's just kind of inefficient. So I want to build a bin and start the actual process of composting. I checked out a few composting books, and I ordered one on Amazon that's coming next week. So I'll definitely share that with you when it comes in. But I really want to focus on the soil, the health of my soil, and we don't have a large garden, so it's not going to take that much to compost. And hopefully I can create a bin that looks nice enough that my husband will be okay with it being a more permanent fixture in the garden. But in the book that I just returned to the library, there was a method that uses landscape fat, meshing and T-posts, and it's easy to move when you're ready to use the compost that you've created in it. So I'm going to build the bins, and I'm going to start composting and learn more about that and focus on the health of the soil in all of my grow areas. And then we'll see where I go. Sky's the limit with composting. But for now, I have been saving the kitchen scraps and just processing them as my little bag gets filled. I am going to be going thrifting a little more this year. I really loved it last year. I got some really great pieces from the thrift store, and so I want to pick up one of those little bins for your kitchen counter that you can put the scraps in, and that way I'm not having to go out frequently because our bag fills up really quickly. I won't have to go out as frequently to process it, but then once the bin is built, I can just fill that up and then put it in the bin and process the compost that way. Super excited about it, and super excited to try and save a little bit of money with how much compost we have to buy every year. Last year, on this channel, we started a bunch of flower seeds, but then I went on vacation in April, and the seedlings, when I came back, were just super leggy because I had to move them because my kitten, he's not a kitten anymore, he's 3 years old, and he's just very curious, and he beheaded a few of my seedlings last year, so I didn't want to leave out trays of seedlings for him to get into while we were gone. My mom and my brother were taking care of them when we were on vacation, but yeah, the seedlings just got super leggy. I put it in a room that doesn't get a lot of, it gets light in the afternoon, but not in the morning, and so they were reaching, and I felt really bad, and I had to throw them away. And so I did direct sowing of a lot of my flowers last year, my cosmos, my marigolds, my calendula, which this is crazy, I still have calendula out in the garden. It's not blooming right now, but the leaves look super healthy, and so I might not even need to plant calendula this year, which is really exciting. But I got plenty of flowers. Like, I did a Mexican sunflower, which was really fun to watch grow. We have lupins out there now because I planted those. And yeah, it's just, I love having a bunch of flowers right here off the patio, but I do want to like try and plant flowers in other areas, just to encourage more pollinators, put more flowers over by the garden, like the growing beds. And, you know, I want to encourage those pollinators to come in my garden and pollinate all my plants and just have a good old time. And so planting more flowers, and I want to do more varieties. And I had a really good zinnia year a few years ago, but I've never been able to get good zinnias since. And so I bought another variety, and then I still have some seeds left in my stash. So I really want to try and get good zinnias, and I think pinching them will be helpful. I'm going to watch a few more videos on YouTube, and hopefully I'll have beautiful zinnias to share later on this summer. Next is another project. We have a pergola off the patio, and there's a wisteria on it, and I have some clematis growing up it, but on the other side of the pergola, it used to be like a garden bed, and I just let it go. I got overwhelmed with how much yard work there was, and since, I mean, it's just a bunch of grass back there. There was some irises that have rotted because of the grass, and I don't ever really get irises in that area. I have some poppies, which are beautiful. They're beautiful pink poppies every summer, and there's a tree and some like boxwood bushes, but I really want to get in there and dig out all the grass, make it look like more of a flower bed again, maybe put some mulching in there and see what I can get to grow. I think a hosta would do really well back there. It is kind of shaded. It's very near the house, and so then the pergola shades it because the sun comes from, you know, this way. And yeah, so I think a hosta or shade loving plants would do really well back there. So I just want to start experimenting, maybe do like re-establish the border around where the lawn is as well. And yeah, and then also another project, it's another one of my goals, is we have a gravel path. Well, it used to be a gravel path, and it goes off the patio, under the pergola, and then back towards a gate on the side of our house. And it used to be gravel, and it's not anymore. It's just weeds and moss and some grass. And there used to be some flagstones in there. So my goal is to dig those up, dig it out a little bit, and then lay some weed fabric down, and then put some more gravel in there around the existing flagstones that I have, and I think it'll look really pretty. There's a beautiful hydrangea over there, and then a beautiful hosta and some other shade loving plants. And so, and we don't spend a lot of time on that side, but I feel like it should still look nice. There's a really big camellia bush back there too, which is gorgeous when it blooms in the spring. And then I think, yeah, I just want it to look nicer. I want to bring areas back to life of the yard that we don't normally see. So those are just two projects, and they're not super huge projects, but I think that they'll look so good when they're finished. Encouraging wildlife into my garden is something that I want to focus a lot on this year. And that goes along with planting more varieties of flowers to encourage pollinators, but also my little feathered friends and other little buggies. I want to encourage them to come into the garden. And so I want to really focus on making sure that my bird feeders are filled, especially my hummingbird feeders. I've been slacking so bad on those. And especially this time of year for hummingbirds, it's really difficult. So I want to get those up. But I also have suet cages, and I want to get a few more of those to fill. And then I have a longer bird feeder that I bought, and I just have been slacking on filling it. And then I also last year made some natural bird feeders out of orange with bird seed and a little bit of peanut butter. And that blog post I'll link below. You can find that project on my blog. But that was a really fun project, and the birds loved it, and they were gone in days. So, and then I also want to put more bird houses out there. And I have one, and I had a bird family in it last year, which was so exciting for me, but I want some more, and I want ones that are easier to clean out, because the one that's out there, I don't know how to get because you're supposed to clean them out every year for them, but I don't know. And maybe a bird will go in and like clean it out themselves, but who knows. But I want to like build like some smaller bird houses and put them along the back fence and just in different areas of the yard to encourage them, like, this is a safe place for you, so come on in. And then also I want to make some nesting cages. So they're just little, I bought some suet cages on Amazon, and we're going to fill them with nesting material. We'll do it together on this channel. And it just makes it easier for them to forage from your nesting baskets. And it is, they don't have to go very far if they're building nests in the yard. So then they'll have some nesting material freely available to them to make those. But yeah. And then I'm thinking of doing some bug hotels around and just making it a wildlife friendly yard. Our cats don't wander a lot. They don't wander at all, really. Like, we keep them on leashes when they're outside with us. And so I do feel safe encouraging birds and the like to come in here. And I'm looking out there right now, and there's a ton of little birds, because I've kept I didn't cut down a bunch of foliage because I know it's really good for bugs, and then the birds are there picking at whatever bugs there are, and so it just really excites me, and I want them to enjoy the backyard just as much as we do. So that's going to be a huge focus this year, is encouraging more wildlife into the backyard. And then during the summer, the garden is full of color. And right now it's very green because we're in the Pacific Northwest, but there's not a ton of color, and I kind of want to do some like DIY projects to like bring more whimsy and beautify the garden. That's not just the flowers and the plants that I grow during the summer. I kind of, I want to do some fun little projects that will bring color to the garden all year round. And who knows, that might mean painting the fence a different color over by my raised beds over here, or making my own garden sign. I don't know. I'm not sure. Our raised beds, I've said in the past, they're on their way out, but you know what? I'm just going to have to work with them. We're trying to save money, so that's not a priority, and they're working just fine. I just need to put some new brackets on it to hold them together for another season. And maybe I'll paint those and add some designs to it or something. I don't know. I just want to add more whimsy and more fun to the garden, because this time of year it can be a little gloomy, and I would love to look out there and see something colorful that I painted or did. So we'll see. I've got a few ideas, and I checked out a book of fun garden craft projects, so I got a few ideas from that. And so I'm looking forward to getting creative and making it pretty out there, prettier than it is. So yeah, stay tuned for some of those. And then this last goal is garden related, but I didn't put it under my garden goals. But it's to really focus on harvest preservation. And last year I went and bought a canning pot and some jars, and it wasn't cheap. So I think I'm going to be like thrifting. I want to thrift more jars because I bought the canning pot, so I can. And then seeing if I can find like a canning recipe book at the thrift store and just source materials at a cheaper price. But I really want to focus, on drying, fermentation, and canning, and just doing whatever we can to make sure that nothing goes to waste. I mean, if that means we have to give stuff away, you know, making more zucchini bread, whatever that means, that's just something that's really important to me. And I'm not saying that I want to like replace the grocery store. We don't need to do that. We're in an urban area, but I would love to like create things that we can like tomato sauce or something that we can eat during the winter and still taste just as fresh as if it came out of the garden yesterday. And I just think that's super fun. And they make great gifts too. You know, I gave away a few of my relish, my cans of relish that I did. And we got a ton of blueberries last year, and I have a feeling we're going to get a ton more this year because my bushes have been so productive. And so maybe some like blueberry jam or blueberry compote canned. I don't know. I just love the idea of preserving the harvest, and that's something that I really want to focus on, and reducing waste out of the garden. But yeah, I know that maybe this sounds a lot, and I just told you one category of goals this year, but I'm not trying to put a bunch of pressure on myself. I want to spend more time outside, so a lot of these projects naturally can get done. But I don't put pressure on myself to do everything. And obviously, if I'm not perfect with preserving, or if I don't get the compost bin up and running, or, you know, I'm just not going to be hard on myself. That's become my approach. I just really want to focus on feeling great and having fun with things. I love the garden, and it's such a joy to have the space that I have, and I just want to make it the best place possible that everyone wants to hang out in, and that we want to hang out in. I want to eat outside on the patio more this summer and late spring if we have some good weather. Who knows? We've had a really mild winter. I'm like very surprised. We've had like one frost, and it's gotten down like really close to freezing here, but no hard frost really. It was the one hard frost that we had, and that was on Thanksgiving. And it's just looking very rainy and wet, which we're used to that, but the temperatures are a lot more mild than they have been. And so I just want to enjoy the outside as much as possible. And yeah, I just feel really inspired this time of year, and getting to plan the garden really helps with like the post-holiday blues. I think it just gets me excited for the year ahead, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing more and bringing you guys along for all this. And yeah, and I wanted to take you out right now, but it looks rainy, and so I might just wait till tomorrow to see if there's a break in the rain, and I'll show you. It'll be a few seconds for you, but it probably won't be till tomorrow for me. But yeah, let me know what, if any, gardening goals that you have for the coming year, and I would love to know, and maybe we can just keep sharing with each other this year. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to bringing you all along for what I can accomplish, and I just really appreciate everyone who watches these videos. My community is not that big yet, but I really enjoy making videos for whoever wants to watch. So without further ado, here is the garden it's not even midwinter, the beginning of winter. So here you go. All right, so we're out on the patio. We had a break in the weather. It's still the same day that I filmed earlier. And everything's looking a little bleak. One thing, I talked about adding whimsy. Well, this cool echinacea came from my aunt's house. She moved and is getting rid of a bunch of stuff, so I decided to take that, and I love how it looks. As you can see in here, I didn't really clean up a lot. A lot of stuff has died back, but I've still got some snapdragons that look really good, and then there's a calendula, and there's a little calendula about to bloom all the way. Don't ask me how that's happening, but it's been very mild. But yeah, I haven't really cleaned up in here that much. I just kind of left everything, and it's looking okay. Yes, there's a bunch of weeding I have to do, but I'll deal with that when temperatures are warmer and I want to spend more time outside. Over here, this this is the pergola, and this, as you can see, there's just a bunch of grass and moss and these irises. I mean, a lot of them have rotted, so, and then this used to be a gravel path, but there's more grass here, so a lot of this is gonna get dug up, and I just want to redo this whole area. We had a windstorm and we lost part of our fence, so my husband's working on that. And then this rhododendron here needs to be trimmed. I want to just get it not so over the path. It's looking pretty good, but we can do better. And then this is the birdhouse that I was telling you about. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to get it open. I guess I could take one of the lids off, but why would I want to do that? A lot of birdhouses that they sell have like little doors that you can open to clean everything out, but there's still a bunch of stuff in there, so we'll see what happens. And then we're over in the raised beds, and I got some cabbage growing in here, but I pulled the carrots and we roasted a bunch of them for Christmas dinner. And as you can see, there's leaves on here. I've chopped and dropped like radishes that didn't do anything for me, carrots that didn't really do a lot, and like the tops of the carrots. And then over here we have broccoli, and there's a volunteer calendula there. There's broccoli, and there's like 1 or 2 kale plants, and as you can see, they're getting very munched, but I'm just leaving them. And some of them actually have, the broccoli has, I don't know if you can see a little broccoli head starting there, which is so exciting for me. So I'm just leaving them. I'm just leaving this area to fend for itself. There's some parsley still here that's looking really good. I chopped some of that down and dropped it. We're getting a lot of water build up in here, so I'm gonna need to work on that at some point. But yeah, there's these 2 little kale plants that are actually looking pretty okay, and then the rest is broccoli and that calendula. But yeah, and then over here I need to chop this down. There's just a lot of stuff to do, and this fence, I don't know if you can really, well, this arch is leaning. We're gonna need to figure that out, but this fence is also leaning, and it will need to be fixed once the neighbors get back. And yeah, it's just very wet out here, and I mean, we've had a lot of rain, but everything is very lush at the moment. And then if we go over here, this is where I am going to do another pumpkin patch over here, because I feel like it can come out on the lawn. It can come out on the lawn and on, you know, we can just let them do their thing. But this is a great spot. But, you know, if you've been watching for a little while, you'll know that there's a bunch of lilies in here. But right now there's irises. These are from my dad's old yard and I'm hoping that they'll bloom this year. We'll see. And then there's a hollyhock over here, calendula, and then I have some allium bulbs over here. I would love to get some more of those, but I need to get in here and just do a quick weeding. And the leaves are doing their job in this area. But yeah, it's just super cold today too. Got some fire, some wood stuff that we need to burn, parts of the fence, parts of trees that have come down. This little guy had pepper plants in there. I think I'm going to do maybe 2 pepper plants in here this year. I'm not going to do another nasturtium in here because it just kind of took over. And then there's remnants of marigolds and everything. And then up here needs to be weeded, but I can see signs of spring already. It's January 3rd today, but these are hyacinths that are coming up. And yeah, just a lot of weeding to go on over here. Oh no. I don't recommend doing this. Leaving your tools out in the rain, not a good idea. Alright, that's going to be it for me today and for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up as it really supports my channel. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you can follow along on the 2025 gardening season coming up and all the planning that goes into it. And I share a bunch of harvests on this channel and lots of garden cleanup and just stuff to get you inspired to get out and grow some food or even grow some microgreens on your windowsill, which we'll be doing together very soon. I'm very excited for that. But yeah, I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you super soon. Bye.